Antony, it's really great to meet you. How are you?
I'm pretty good, thanks.
And welcome back to Australia. Now, I know you've been here numerous times before, but this is the first time you've come with a full orchestra. So I'm kind of interested about the shift to the orchestra. What do you actually enjoy about playing with all the instruments?
Well, it's just a different kind of an opportunity. Actually, the orchestra are all musicians from Sydney. The conductor came with me, and the scores came with me. But we did some touring over the summer where I worked with different symphonies around Europe, and that was where we got the idea to do that with at the Sydney Opera House.
And in terms of actually playing with an orchestra and singing with an orchestra, what do you enjoy about that as opposed to with a smaller ensemble?
Well, with a small little ensemble, it's kind of like the Owl and Pussycat went to sea on a beautiful pea green boat, and with the symphony, it's more like the theme song for the Titanic.
Should I call a doctor? For I fear that you might be dead. But I just lay down beside you and held your hand.
Now, of course, you won the Mercury Prize in 2005, which is excellent, and that was for the album I Am a Bird. Now, the new album, The Crying Light, it's much more of a sort of a meditation on nature and the fragile state of our world. Can you tell me a bit about I suppose the inspiration to write and to sing about those sorts of things, about the sensual nature of our world?
You know, it's just because it's been so much in the forefront of my mind for the last 10 years, thinking about my relationship to the world around me and, in terms of our relationship with nature and the ways that our environment is suffering. And it's sort of, it's the convergence of sort of personal development and sort of awareness of the world that kind of brought me to this material.
Is it some ways, it's because also now you have a voice in a way, that there is an ability to be able to communicate and to I don't know, to help teach it in a kind of small way?
I don't really think of it as teaching. I'm just thinking about, I think with music, you're more putting forward your own experience, and you're hoping that people will find a pathway into relating it to their experience. The gift that I was given was the opportunity to participate in culture, and I think of culture as sort of the mass of our collective voice. It's sort of the way we talk to each other. Actually, especially creatively.
I read this really awesome comment that you said, which was, when the forests are all cleared, there's no more space to dream. I wondered if you could tell me a bit more about those spaces in order for us, as you say, to dream and also to create. How important are they?
Well, I'm really preoccupied with biodiversity, for instance. As we're scuttling along and sort of whittling down the biodiversity of our environment, I do think it closes a lot of kind of dreaming doors. We're not the only manifestation of a mysterious creativity at work. There's so many reflections that we could get lost in.
I cry, glitter is love. My eyes pinned inside with green jewels.
I think of each aspect of biodiversity as another kind of miracle, and it's a kind of an affirmation in an unconscious way almost of our own preciousness. Do you know what I mean? Like when you see something so mysterious and so unbelievable, it's a mirror. I think all of nature is a mirror for the richness of our own spirit. But I don't think that's its sole purpose. But I do think that it serves. That's its kind of, maybe it has a spiritual value to us in a kind of selfish way, in that it shows this kind of rich abundance, and if we whittle away all that abundance and all we're left with is like a few rocks and a couple of like corn-fed cows, and like a few bits of factory farmed animals that are just embodying like a kind of an agony that we've imposed upon them, I think it will suffer. I feel like I will suffer in a world like that. I don't want to live in a world that's just our own that's just comprised of our own mental constructs. Like, that's the whole idea of mystery and abundance and nature, is that it's forever unfurling, and it can hold all of our creative dreams, and it can hold all of the mystery of this place. You know, I mean, I really subscribe to that idea of the earth as a mother entity, like the creation itself as a feminine creative impulse. I really see it as an artistic impulse. Like, so I love the connection between creativity and exploration of creativity, and kind of like that wondrous kind of space.
Let's talk a bit about New York, because I know that you were born in the UK and you moved to America when you were quite young, and spent a lot of time in New York. What is it about New York that still appeals to you as an artist?
Well, I love the history of the city. You know, I mean, I feel like my childhood was spent there, and also like the childhoods and adulthoods of so many artists that I care about, you know, in my line of interest. And I love all the ghosts of that city. Like, I love that it was... when I walk down the street, I'm always thinking about how I wish that I could look at what had happened, get a glance of what had happened there 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago. I wish that with my steps I could see all the different times at once. You know, I mean, don't you sometimes feel that way when you walk around? Like, you wish you could see all the other times that had transpired in that same space. You know, it gives it a kind of... And New York is very rich in that regard. It's very resonant with experience, and with so many different kinds of stories, from like the Native American stories that, and even before, you know, all the way through. And also it's that portal, the immigrants' portal into the United States. So it kind of embodies a lot of the wonderful things, but also the tension of America as a sort of colonized country of immigrants.
And it still has that feeling to you in a very sort of major way?
Well, the thing about New York is it just kind of knocks itself down and rebuilds itself every 10 or 15 years, because it's made by you know, there's a new flood of people that come in every 10 years and kind of reimagine the city. And it's always been that way since it started. So I do like that. It has a volatile creative energy.
Can we talk a bit about your creative energy? And I know you've talked about this at length in all these other different places, but about the sort of this amazing list of awesome, incredible singers that have been great influences, from Nina Simone to, I think it's Otis Redding was another one, Elizabeth Fraser from the Cocteau Twins, just fantastic as well. How important were those voices for you in developing your music?
Well, they taught me how to sing, you know. I just learned how to sing from copying my favourite singers. So, I mean, that's normal. You know, I mean, I'm not even that interested in what is so unique about a voice. As you know, I really feel like as a singer you participate in the collective song, you know, so, and there's different offshoots of it, but I really learned to sing from my favorite singers. When they gave me, they showed me that there was a place where you could express yourself in a very optimal way. You know, I was raised in south of England, this very reserved kind of culture, and in our society, you know, it's very compartmentalized, and you know, it's not often that we're given an opportunity to really just manifest fully, you know, like shake it out and just be everything that you really want to dream of being, dance down the street, or cover yourself in jewels and color, or really fall into a reverie about like what your spirit is. And music is one of the places that in our culture we let people dream. You know, it's one of the places where we watch people really go for it. You know, and so I thought, well, that's what I want to do. I want to really go for it.